Hello and welcome you all. This is another video about one-step equations, but this time with the one-step equations we are looking at, I got them backwards, multiplication and division in regards to one-step equations. So in the last video I talked about addition and subtraction, how you do the opposite sign, right? If you have addition, then you would do subtraction. If you have subtraction, then you would do addition, okay? So the same thing goes for our next little segment, which is multiplication and division. So a lot of times you're going to see problems like number one, this is division. Is m, a variable, divided by 7 equals 7, okay? So this bar here, you're going to probably see that a lot, that kind of dictates division. It's the same thing when you see fractions. It is a division bar. 3/4 of a fraction is just 3 divided by 4. So just keep that in mind when we're using these different technical terms. You do know what it is. You do understand what it is. Sometimes we just have to ask a few more questions, which is always okay. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, okay? So when we go through these two, I'm going to do another 6 problems. I think I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 of each, 3 multiplication and 3 division. And I'm going to walk us through it, these problems, just to kind of make sure that you all can see how the steps are done, and if you need to make any adjustments to how you are doing the work, you can find that information here. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so we have m divided by 7 equals 7. So when we have division, we want to do the opposite. So we want to multiply. But what do we multiply? The easiest thing that I can say for us right now to start with is you're going to multiply the number at the bottom, the number underneath the division bar. You're going to multiply that number by what's outside your equal sign. Okay? You're going to multiply the bottom number times what's outside the equal sign. Okay? So let's show you a little bit of that. So m over 7 equals 7. I'm going to say, all right, let me take this 7 and I'm going to multiply it by that 7. Okay? Now that's my sign for multiplication. Okay? So now I have a 7 and 7 going for it. Again, like I did with the addition and subtraction, I just need to bring down my m. And then I put an equal sign there. Okay? So now we have 7 times 7, which gives us 49. And again, like I did with the addition and subtraction, always try to double check your work just to be sure. Even if you know the answers off the top of your head, sometimes it's the little things that do tend to throw us off a little bit. Okay, so let's just try it. I'm going to say 49 divided by 7 equals 7. And if you punch that into your calculator, mental math, you do it by hand, whatever the case may be, I believe that is correct. Okay? That was your first division problem. So, like we said, you take the number at the bottom, you multiply by what's outside your equal sign. Okay? That's for division. Now, we have multiplication. Now, usually we see like an X or a little dot or maybe parentheses when we look at multiplication. But remember, if you have a number and a variable side by side, that implies multiplication. We're saying 4 times some number equals 28. Okay? So remember, number next to letter is multiplication. Okay? So what we do for multiplication, we have to divide. And remember how I showed number 1? Let's just put a little division bar on both sides. Put a division bar on both sides. And can you guess which number we divide by? That's right, we divide by the 4. All right. So again, I like to try to line up things so that I know what cancels out and what doesn't. So you can see here, I said 4m divided by 4. I have the 4's lined up because a number divided by itself will give us 1. So I can say 1, and I'm going to bring down my m. 1m equals, and then we got 28 divided by 4, which will give us 7. Now, with the 1m, that 1, this 1 here is always kind of implied. So if we put a 1m here, that is the same answer. I know it may seem a little weird to think about, but if there's a 1 here, you don't have to put the 1. You can put the 1 if you would like to, but it is not necessary when you're putting in your answer. Because guess what? So if you want to do that extra step, let's say 1m, you divide by 1, guess what? You still get 7. So it is still the same answer. If you have a m by itself or 1m, your answer is still correct. Okay. Now let's show us how we're checking these. So now I have 4m equals 28. I'm going to say 4. Let's do this little dot. 4 times 7 equals 28. And that is correct. Okay. Now these should get a little bit easier because we've seen the steps. We know what we have to do. Now it's just showing that we can do it. All right. So now we have 10m equals 30. So 10 multiplied by some number gives us 30. So what are we going to do? Opposite of multiplication is division. All right. What do we divide by? We divide by the number in front of our variable. And we have to remember, we have to put it on both sides. Okay. Both sides. So now I have my 10 divided by 10. It gives me 1. This time I'm not going to put the 1. I'm just going to put m. Okay. And that equals, excuse me, 30 divided by 10, which gives me, I believe, 3. And then I check it. So I do my 10, I plug it in, times 3 gives me 30. And yes, that is correct. Okay. All right. Number 4, we have m divided by 5 equals 8. M divided by 5 equals 8. So remember, we're going to take the number at the bottom, this 5, and we're going to multiply it by the number on the outside, which is that 8. Okay? So let's bring down our m. It equals 5 times 8 gives us, what's that? Was it 40? We got our 40. And now let's check it. 40 divided by 5 equals 8. We plug that in, we check our steps, make sure our math is right. That is correct. Now, just to start, I know I was just thinking about something. One of the things that I try not to do, but I'm doing for video, is I don't do math in pen. The reason for that is if you make a mistake or you make an error, you really can't erase it. You have to kind of scribble it out. It makes it a little bit can make your paper messy, and especially if you get frustrated and you kind of bleed through your paper. And I was thinking of that because I noticed I've been circling my answers before I've checked them. So if this had been wrong and I double checked it, then I would have to, you see all this space I would have to give up? You know, you want to make sure you write the answer clearly instead of trying to write over your answer. So that's why I choose not to use a pen. And wow, I do apologize for that, but it is what it is, and we're going to work through it. Lastly, I have m divided by 6 equals 3. M divided by 6 equals 3. So we're going to take our 6 at the bottom here and multiply it by what's outside, which is that 3. I'm going to bring down my m like so. And then 6 times 3 gives me 18. All right. And now I do my 18 divided by 6 equals 3. We check that, and that is correct. Okay. Last problem. Okay. Now we have 3m equals 27. So 3 times some number will give us 27. Multiplication, we want to do the opposite. It's division. What are we dividing by? The 3, the number in front of our variable. Okay? What we do here is we bring down our m. We divide 27 divided by 3. It's 9. Okay? And then we check it. 3 times 9 equals 27. I believe that checks out. And there we go. So, these are the one-step equations dealing with multiplication and division that we just walked through. I'm going to slowly pan up so you can kind of see the problems and the answers as we went through them. 6 through 5, 4 and 3, and then 2 and 1. Okay? So remember, with these, you want to continue. You just want to make sure you're doing one step. You want to make sure you're doing the opposite. You want to make sure you're doing the opposite of whatever the sign that you're given. So quick recall, if it's addition, you do subtraction. If it's subtraction, you do addition. If it's multiplication, you do division. And if it's division, you do multiplication. Okay? So I hope this helps. Continue to do what you all are doing. You all are doing an excellent job by sticking with this through these trying times that we're living in. Mr. Kairos is extremely proud of each and every one of you for, going above and beyond what you're asked to do, and I am very grateful for that. All right, I hope you all are doing well. I hope you continue to do well, and I can't wait to see you all again. All right, take care.